with that out of the way, let's go right ahead and go into the first and most likely the best segment ever in my entire life. I am so happy to say this. The Giants are releasing the veteran quarterback Daniel Jones this Friday, today. This is the best day of my life. So owner John Mara, Daniel Jones went to see him, and Daniel Jones asked if the team would release him. Like, please release me. And the Giants, already getting ready to kick Daniel Jones out the door, was like, yes, please leave. And oh my gosh, this is the best day of my life. The longest 6 years of being a Giants fan are finally over. The absolute one of the worst quarterbacks, in fact, the worst quarterback to start this long in their entire season is Daniel Jones right there. He is not a good quarterback. The fact that he was able to maintain his job for 6 years amazes me to this day. He did have that one good season in 2022 when he did win the Giants a game in the wild card, away game by the way, but still, for the majority of Daniel Jones's time as a Giants quarterback, it has been nothing but awful. It has been abysmal. We've had 0-5 starts for several seasons back to back, and it's just never, ever, ever have gotten better with Jones at quarterback. And he cannot throw the ball deep. He still suffers from throwing turnovers. It doesn't seem like he can read defenses. Now with Malik Neighbors on the roster, it seems like he's only been looking at Malik Neighbors, making it obvious where he wants to throw. And even when he does throw the ball, it tends to be underthrown. Of course it is. He still throws the ball to Casper, and he still fumbles the ball. So he's an absolute bust when we drafted him 6 overall. And I cannot believe that it took us 6 years to finally get rid of him, but I am so glad that it's happened. And the owner of the Giants released a statement. The president of the Giants released a statement. Daniel came to see me this morning and asked if we would release him. We mutually agreed that would be the best for him and for the team. Daniel has been a great representative of our organization, first class in every way. His handling of this situation yesterday exemplifies just that. We are all disappointed in how things have worked out. We hold Daniel in high regard and have a great appreciation for him. We wish him nothing but the best in the future. Me personally, I don't wish for anything in the best. That's just my fandom talking. But the reality is that Jones is a very class act. Like, he owns up to a lot of his mistakes. He never really talks down on the media. He has very good media training, honestly. And the ability to handle a lot of this criticism that he gets without snapping or saying anything bad. It's impressive. The Giants in practice, they did demote him really, really bad to a 4th string quarterback in practice. They also made him play safety, which is it had a lot of Giants fans just completely appalled and felt like this was incredibly disrespectful. And I understand why a lot of them would feel that way, because Daniel is nothing but a class act. But the reality is that despite the fact that he is a class act, it does not absolve the fact that he is just a bad quarterback in this league. And a lot of Giants fans, some of them don't like to see how he's been getting treated by the Giants, but to me, the way I see it is that's what happens when you get paid all this money and you don't live up to those expectations. You're going to get treated like this, and you're going to be put in positions where coaches think you belong in. It's just how it works. And it's unbelievable how it took up until this long for the Giants to finally move on from him. But he's been absolutely abysmal. And there are moments where he shows good leadership on the field and then immediately just makes those leadership instances just null and void. For example, in the Steelers game, in the game against when the Giants matched up against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, they ran this play, probably one of the worst plays I've ever seen in a game. It was almost as bad as when the Giants decided to do a quarterback sneak from their own end zone, which was also a terrible play. And that was sort of our previous head coach's, that was his way of saying, I don't want this job anymore, fire me. And he was fired immediately after. But regardless, Daniel Jones, he was visibly upset with the play calling and started screaming and getting upset, right? The defense gets a stop. Of course, Daniel Jones leads the ball down all the way to the red zone and fumbles at the very end. And then the defense gets another stop. And of course, Daniel Jones turns the ball over on an overthrown pass. It's like there are these things where he tries to display leadership, but no matter what, he is still nothing but a below average quarterback who is not good at football. I am so glad that he's finally being released. And for the future on the Giants, now they're going to have to rely on Tommy DeVito, the Italian, class act as well, and a hometown hero. He did play for Don Bosco, a team in New Jersey, and they call themselves the Ironmen. When I was in high school, we actually had to play against Don Bosco several times because they're in our division of football. And it's obviously like they are a very, very good program and a very competitive team. So the stuff that Tommy DeVito is made out of, Men of Steel, that's real talk right there. And the rest of the quarterbacks coming off the bench from him, there's Drew Lock, who's, again, not really all that good. And it doesn't really seem like, outside of... I mean, Jones at quarterback was never good. Especially this season. Absolutely horrible. And the rest of the options that we have are almost just as bad. I mean, Tommy DeVito, he'll go in and he'll win a couple of games, at least from what we saw last season. But I don't know if that's really a good sign or something that the Giants want to continue. Because, again, the season is already over for New York. And now is the time to look to the future and look to draft a quarterback. Because there is no doubt in my mind that right now, after releasing Daniel, the Giants are definitely going to draft a quarterback. Like, it has to happen. Which quarterback they draft is still up in the air. And let's see. The ones that come, right to my mind are Cam Ward. Obviously, he's a favorite for a lot of Giants fans right now because we don't really expect Cam Ward to go that high in the draft, and it doesn't really seem like the Giants own a very high pick in the draft just based off of the draft standings right now. I believe the Jaguars own the best pick in the draft right now, and I mean, there is also the possibility that if we do have a really high pick, that the Giants are going to try to invest it in Shedeur Sanders, which I wouldn't really be upset at that, but I don't think primetime Deion Sanders would anonymous in the chat. Saquon Barkley is laughing now. I mean, I would laugh too. I would laugh too, but it's not all bad because at the end of the day, Tyrone Tracy, he's been fantastic at the running back. He's been, in the games that he's played, he's been leading, he's been a really good running back for the team. And it's not as if we lost anything when getting rid of Barkley. The difference is that Barkley not only played a couple more games, but he also has a much better O-line so he can actually run. So the production that we're getting from Tracy is... I'm not saying it's the exact same as what Barkley is doing right now, but given the situation that Tracy is in with that offensive line, and given the situation that Barkley is in with that offensive line, obviously Saquon Barkley is a freak of nature, but it's more or less the same production and more or less solid play. Because there would be instances when I was watching Saquon, he would get like 100 and something yards in one game, and then in the next game he would get only like 22 rushing yards in that game. And it was a bit of up and down, but now he has found, consistency with the Eagles, and that's what makes him so good, the fact that he's able to be consistent. And Tracy is proving to be consistent as well, despite, the fumble towards the end of that Panthers game. But again, that is sort of that's a whatever, because again, the season is over, and I completely expect the Giants to draft a quarterback, either Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. Those two are my hopeful picks for a top pick. Now, I mean, there is a chance that we might end up trying to get Travis Hunter. That's what I thought was going to happen. But given this news with Daniel Jones finally being released, thank the Lord, I think they're going to try and draft a quarterback and secure one. So that's it with the first segment. Again, best first segment of my entire life, best day of my entire life, just because of this news. It's the most wonderful time of the year, as they all like to say. And speaking of the most wonderful time of the year, we're going to go ahead and go into the second segment where we're talking about the Browns going up against the Steelers. I thought the Steelers were going to win in this one, and the Browns shocked me, so I'll be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the